Unit 6, Lesson 3, Video 3. The second area of focus is dependent events. Now again, the probability looks the same. You still have the word "and" telling you what's going on, but now we have two events where one event does affect the next outcome's probability. So when you see the equation here, it says the probability of A times the probability of B, given that A has already happened. So it affects the next probability knowing that the first event has happened. So what does that look like? Well, as before, when you hear the phrase "with replacement" would signify a independent events. Here we would see the statements "without replacement." So for example, on our next pick, we would have fewer candies, so therefore you have a different overall probability. In the next question we have "without replacement" is some key phrasings. Now this next one says a bag contains these balls. Two balls are selected at random. Find the probability of picking a yellow and then another yellow. It is not guaranteed that they will always say "without replacement." But when they don't say "without replacement," or if they don't say "with replacement," we should assume that they are talking about no replacement or without replacement. That is the general idea anyway. You are assuming that you're keeping it in your hand. So they would have to state that they're putting it back in order for that to be true. So very common. So in this case, even though they don't say it, we will assume that they are keeping it in their hand, therefore it is or are dependent events. The next one we have dimes and quarters and change basically. What's the probability of N and P? And they say without replacement, so that defaults it to a dependent event. And then two cards are drawn from a deck. What's the probability of a queen and a 9? If the first card is not replaced, that should be is. So all examples of dependent events. Formula is the same, it's just that the second fraction that you create, the second probability, will be affected by the first. So you have to know what the first drawing gave you. This ends Unit 6, Lesson 3, Video 3.